Podmoth.
Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to Watchers Podcast with your hosts, Brad and Coulson.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Why are you doing this to us?
Gives you a home.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told it was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to the show, and if you're listening to this, you made it! It's 2021.
Yes.
So get ready for the samurai werewolf sharks that are on the way.
That's right.
Because that's the logical next step.
That's definitely it.
Yeah. Colson, Happy New Year.
Same to you, thank you.
Thanks. Today we're counting down our top 10 best films of 2020.
Yeah.
This is going to be a weird list for me.
Okay.
I think I only ended up watching like 25 or 30 movies that came out this year.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Definitely lower for you, though.
Yeah, normally I try and hit at least the ones that like everyone's talking about that are supposed to be good.
Yeah.
That didn't happen this year.
Okay.
You?
I think I did 37.
Okay.
37 or 38, which is, I'm usually like 8 or 9. So
I remember last year you were sort of like struggling to make your top 10.
It's a record year for me. So yeah.
All right. You want to start with your number 10?
Sure. So my number 10 is The Invisible Man.
Hey. Oh yeah. So if there's something that's higher on the other person's list, we'll just say higher on the list.
We'll talk about
it when we get to them.
So we'll talk about it in a few minutes, I assume?
Yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
Good.
My number 10 is Borat 2.
Not on my list.
All right.
But it was one that I watched.
Yeah. It was good. It was funny.
Yeah.
Like, considering how much later it came out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was years. I think the original came out in 2006, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there anyway. So 14 years.
Yeah.
And
I thought
good.
The addition of his daughter was really funny. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
Crazy that people still fell for the Borat thing.
Yeah, this was... Because I was wondering how they were going to do that, and they kind of made it clear early on that he couldn't go out as Borat in like that gray suit.
Yeah. Because
he did, and everybody was like, hey, Borat!
Yeah.
And they wanted pictures and shit, so it was like Borat. It was Sacha Baron Cohen going into character.
Yeah.
Like
he had
double...
to be a disguise.
Yes, a disguise inside of a disguise. So
yeah.
It worked well, though.
It did. It was very funny.
Funny, yep.
Your number 9.
My number 9 is Greenland.
I didn't see that one.
Okay, so this is a disaster... I love disaster movies.
I do, too.
So I think you may... I know you watched the trailer for this one. This one's the one with the meteor shower that happens.
Oh,
Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gotta get to Greenland or whatever the hell the trailer says happens.
Nice.
But it was good. It was not the best disaster movie, but it was fun. And that's all you need for a disaster movie.
That's true.
It was good.
I kind of forgot all about this one.
Yeah,
like,
I did too until a guy from work was like, I watched We Do This Thing, like, he'll give me clues, because I know so much about, like, what, anyway. He was like, he said something like, disaster movie, and I 2020, and I was like, oh, Greenland. Obviously, I know. And then I was like, I completely forgot about it, so I watched it, like, that weekend, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was a weird year because there was so many trailers.
Yeah.
And then everything got canceled.
Yeah.
So...
Just an example of that, earlier this year, I was looking for... I'm like, there was a horror movie trailer I watched with something with antlers.
Yeah.
And I literally typed into Google search, I typed in horror movie with antlers. And the movie's called Antlers.
And
it was, again, supposed to be out this year, and it got bumped to next year.
Yeah,
So.
I thought that was going to make my top 10.
Yeah.
Like, the trailers looked so creepy.
I remember seeing trailers back in, like, the spring or even winter of last year, or, like, this year, I guess, earlier on, and I was like, what the hell ever happened to that?
Yeah.
That was why it bumped away, so.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're going to have a horror-heavy top 10 if we do this.
Yeah, I think so. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my number 9, Greenland.
All right, my number 9 is a movie that when we started this podcast, I made fun of nonstop.
Okay.
And now it's in my top 10 of 2020, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right. That's a good pick. Did not make my list, but good,
Yeah.
good, fun movie.
It was. Once they did the redesign of Sonic, it actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, and yeah, the kids loved it, and it was good.
It was good. Yeah, I remember we talked about that one.
Yeah.
Back before we switched to horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all.
My number 8, Fat Man.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. So yeah, this is we got this one at Walmart. We picked it up like in November, I think, for Christmas. It was going to be our Christmas Eve movie this year. So
Yeah.
Mel Gibson plays Santa Claus. Dom, what is that guy's name? I can never remember it. It's the guy with the big teeth. He's in Predators. Dom. Anyway,
Rami Malek?
no. Anyway, he plays an assassin who's going to kill the Fat Man, who is Santa Claus, and it was not like a kid friendly. Santa's real in it, like it's the military uses him, like
cool.
they rent out his workshop, so it was a fun like adult Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Lots of blood and action and things like that. So
You and Coley have talked about this one, right?
yeah, we just talked about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got his name, Walton Goggins.
Oh.
Not Dominic, Dom, whatever the fuck I was thinking, but Walton Goggins.
I love Walton Goggins.
Yeah, so he was great. And Mel Gibson, he was fun.
Good.
So yeah, that's my number 8.
Mel Gibson, he was racist.
Yes. Love Mel Gibson, though.
Yeah. My number 8 is the only documentary on this list, because I didn't watch very many of them this year.
Okay.
And that's Class Action Park.
I don't know what that is.
Did you see the movie that Johnny Knoxville did?
Yes, okay.
Like, Action Point, I
Yes,
think?
I do know the movie now.
So this is a documentary based on the real park that he based his movie off of.
That's cool.
And it's called Action Park.
Right.
Where it's basically just a bunch of teenagers were left to run the park, and like all the rides were homemade and stuff.
Horrible.
People dying, like
It's
people
crazy.
getting their backs broken.
Oh.
They like made a water slide that actually has a loop in it.
Okay. Like a go upside down loop.
Yeah, like a racetrack,
my
like a Hot Wheels track.
That's insane.
Yeah, and like only certain sized people
Yeah,
could go in, and it's
of
like,
course.
oh, if you're too big, you can't go. If you're too light, you can't go.
Oh.
And they were saying like the first time they sent people down, they were coming out and they were like all busted up and everything, like bloody noses and stuff. So then they put padding in the loop, and people came out and they're still kind of hurt. And then the next person that came through, their back was all shredded up, and it turned out those teeth stuck in the padding that was slicing them up.
God, that is crazy.
And that's just one of like the crazy stories from this. Like it's just insane.
I gotta write that one down because I'll watch that for sure.
Oh, I might watch it again.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. It's
That
so
sounds like a fun one.
It's so funny.
That's great.
Scary but funny.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Good pick.
Thanks.
Okay, my number 7 is the new Pixar Disney Soul.
Higher on my list.
Okay. Your number 7.
My number 7, The Dark and Wicked.
Higher on my list.
I knew it would be.
Yes. My number 6, Becky.
Not on my list.
Okay, I'm surprised. I thought
it
that
was
one
at first.
Yeah.
And then I watched a few movies and it got bumped out.
bumped out. Yeah. So this one we didn't talk about it, but we watched it together.
Yeah.
It's got Kevin James playing like a Nazi. He's going into a house to.
Yeah, he's like a skinhead.
Yeah.
Him and
Yeah, skinhead, I guess, not a Nazi, not like fucking Hitler's fucking
yeah,
military or whatever the hell. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was a fun home invasion watch.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
It had the former wrestler Kurgan in it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you pronounce his name Robert Malay. I'm not sure. I know he's French and he's from like the east coast of Canada, like around us. And it was cool seeing him in like a role where he actually got to talk.
Right.
He's always just like the muscle.
Background standing there looking intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, it was good.
That was a fun movie. So yeah, that's my number 6.
My number 6 might be one of the most unpopular picks.
Okay. I know what this is going to be.
Because I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then I went online and everybody hated this movie. And I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And that's Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but...
I don't either. I watched it. It didn't make my list.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a real hate on for this
Big
one.
time.
Yeah, it was a Ron Howard movie,
Yeah.
and it's about a guy who is trying to make it into a law firm, and finds out that his mother has overdosed again, and has to go back home to help her out. And they grew up poor,
Yeah.
and it's like a drama, but there is a lot of comedy in it too, with Glenn Close playing an old lady, and everybody thinks she should get a Razzie for that. I liked it. She reminded me of my grandmother.
I didn't mind. Like, I read a lot of things, and like, I think the acting was one of the. I will say it did have that. They call it Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Where it's like, clearly that's what they're going for here.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it seemed fine to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. If you guys want to leave a comment,
Yeah.
letting me know why this is so bad.
Yeah. I gave it. I think I gave it a 3 on my letterbox thing, and I think you were 3.5.
Yeah.
So, or maybe 4, something like
Yeah.
that. But either way, most of them are half star or 1.
Yeah.
And it's like trashing it. And I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I will say, Amy Adams is one of my least favorite actors, or
Oh, okay.
actresses, or whatever. And this character might be my least favorite character in the history of anything ever.
Oh, she's
I
horrible.
fucking hated her. But
When it turns out that it's like a true story,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what a terrible person.
yeah, it's awful. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know. A lot of people were like hating it,
Really
like you
hated
said.
it.
So yeah.
You're 5.
My number 5 is another Disney Pixar movie, Onward.
My number 5 as well.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, this one came out very early. I think it was like March, April.
This was the last movie I seen in theaters.
Okay.
I think it was April.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it.
Me too.
I clearly liked it more than Soul. You clearly liked Soul more than this
Yeah.
one. But no, I thought it was a fun action kind of adventure movie for kids.
Yeah. It's just slightly lower than Soul for me.
Okay.
Because this one did follow the same sort of like go on an adventure, run into wacky characters,
Yes.
and get to the end.
Yeah.
But I did like the story a little bit more. I thought it was pretty creative.
Yeah.
And I thought like the whole world that they built up
Yes.
really quickly was
I
really
agree.
well done.
Yeah. And I like the voice actors in this one too.
Yeah, me too. Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays the mother, I
yeah,
believe.
that's right.
I love her. So, yeah, Onward for both of us.
Yeah.
So now my number 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. My number 4 is The Devil All the Time.
I still haven't watched this.
Okay.
I forgot.
So I won't spoil this one. I don't think I've spoiled any, really. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a Netflix movie. It's got, again, Tom Holland, who is great, Robert Pattinson, and Bill Skarsgård, the guy who plays Pennywise in the new It movies.
Right.
Great movie. Great acting from everybody. It's weird,
I like weird.
but it's very good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I would check that one out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I have to. The fact that it hasn't been spoiled for me yet.
Yeah, that's
surprising.
that's true. Yeah. So you're number 4.
My number 4 is Soul.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, just barely.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was very adult for a Pixar movie.
Yes.
Like it seems like they're slowly. It's almost like there's two things going on at Pixar. They have like their more mature movies, and then their kids' movies. Like, Inside Out was a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
And then The Good Dinosaur, I think, came out the same year, which is like for little kids.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think maybe they're doing that, like Onward and Soul, even though, I don't know. I liked it.
I did
thought
too.
It was great.
I thought it was good. The only thing I don't know. The only thing I didn't really like, but it didn't bother me. Just the animation in certain points of it was very weird.
Yeah, like when they're in purgatory or
whatever that is. It was like, but it was fun. I mean, it's not like I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's very strange.
It was very strange.
Pixar, but it was good. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
So that's your number 4?
Yeah, we're on to your
top 3. So my number 3 movie is Tenet. Haven't seen this yet?
Haven't seen it yet.
So this is a Christopher Nolan's movie. This is the one that he put out in the summertime and it did not do very good.
Yeah, he thought he was going to save the movie theater.
Yes. It was fun. It was. I ordered it on 4K. I didn't go to it in the theater because I figured might as well just wait. I don't even know if it was playing here. I have no idea.
I think it was at the time.
Yeah, but anyway, I was like, I'll wait. Get it on 4K. Save the money of going into town to do it, just to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and we watched it, and it's definitely a rewatch one, but it was visually spectacular. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, it was one where I was really excited when I seen the trailer, and then when I wasn't going to the movie theater to watch it, I didn't care anymore. Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I really feel like watching this one at home.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll have to.
Yeah, might have to.
My number 3 is The Invisible Man.
Okay.
It was sitting at number 1 for a while.
Yeah.
This was a great movie, I thought. Elizabeth Moss was awesome. This is another one that's divided. People either thought it was terrible or loved it.
Yeah.
I think maybe some of the people that hate it might... Well, it's their opinion, but I think they might miss a little bit of the bigger story with, like, the abuse and stuff like that going on. And I think that's what kind of makes it creepier.
Yeah. This was my number 10. I watched this, I think, in March or April, sometime around there.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it again, but I want to.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with this one wasn't even with the movie, it was with the trailer. I felt they gave so much away in the trailer. There's one specific scene where she's crawling into an attic and she dumps paint, and you can see it looks like she dumped paint onto a golf ball.
Yeah.
You know, that dented thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, they just fucking gave this whole fucking movie away.
Yeah.
It was like, you know at that point, okay, it's, I won't get into fine details here, but avoid the trailer. It stinks.
Yeah.
Most trailers do. But,
the fact that they made this, I think it was like $7 million or something.
It was low.
Yeah, it's super
and that was
impressive.
A Blumhouse production, so they seem to do good sometimes.
yeah, that's right.
Good pick.
Thanks.
So my number 2 could be your number 2, or maybe not.
I'm thinking it might be.
The King of Staten Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 2 as well.
Perfect. So this one... This was one that was originally going to come out in theaters, and they pulled it and put it in online, whatever.
Yeah.
I bought it just the other day on Blu-ray. So
nice.
On Boxing Day, it went down to cheap price, so I got it then. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah, I'm usually not a huge fan of, like, Judd Apatow movies.
Right. You can be hit and miss.
Yeah, but this one,
yeah,
just the way, I don't know, the way it was presented or something, it felt better. I don't know, it was more up my alley.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a coming-of-age movie, but Davidson's older.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this one also has a kind of independent feel to it. It really wasn't like a big Hollywood 40-year-old virgin looking... I don't even know if Apatow did that one. I can't remember, but...
Knocked Up.
Yeah, those movies that were like huge you're seeing fucking trailers for a year.
Yeah.
This had that independent film feel to it. And
Yeah.
it worked.
And it's cool that it kind of used a little bit of his real life mixed
Right.
with the script kind of thing. Was cool.
For sure.
And it didn't have Katherine Heigl, so that's always
Yes.
it's always a plus.
Exactly. Yeah. So my number one, you mentioned it, is The Dark and the Wicked.
I knew it would be.
Yeah. This was my favorite horror movie of the last few years.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. I still check on Amazon every other day. I type it in to see if it's available yet, and nothing. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll put it out for me and I can buy it. But until then, I'll just have to stream it again or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, this was my number 7, but could easily be higher. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
It has such a creepy tone to it. Like, it's... Ugh.
It was
scary.
Yeah, this is one we actually talked about, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We reviewed this, and it was probably our highest reviewed movie yet since we've switched to horror.
I think, one other one, The Thing.
Oh, yes.
Other than that, though,
Yeah.
this is the highest one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a fun watch.
Yeah.
for
Check
sure.
that one out.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear your number one. I have no idea what it will be.
I don't even know if you've seen my number 1.
Okay.
It's Palm Springs.
No, I haven't seen it, but I do know it.
Okay.
So I'll let you go ahead.
New Andy Samberg movie, and I don't want to give too much away.
Okay.
But he goes to a wedding and meets a girl there, and then they end up doing kind of like a Groundhog's Day thing, where they got to relive the same day over and over.
Yeah. Is this an Amazon Prime
It is.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I keep seeing the preview for it popping up whenever I'm on there. So
Yeah. J.K. Simmons is in it as well.
Love J.K..
And he is hilarious in
That's
this
good.
movie. Really funny. They put a pretty good twist on the whole like Groundhog's Day thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Awesome.
And yeah, you
I'll
should
check that one out for sure. Yeah.
So now,
Our least favorites?
yeah, this was way easier for me than doing my top 10.
It was easy for me too. I could have added a couple more. I could have done like anything.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
So
we'll
these-
start with our number 3.
They're in no specific order for me. I
Okay.
hated them all, but I'll do.
That's fair.
The Grudge. It came out in January, very first of the year. I hated this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a fan of like not the Japanese one, but the American one with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Right.
I thought it was like a fun. That was at the time when Japanese horror movies were coming over, and like The Ring and other. It was like, ooh, creepy.
Yeah.
And it was like that, but it never stuck with me.
No.
And then I watched this one, and it is so bad. It's awful.
Yeah, I never heard good things about this
Yeah,
one.
I did not care for it at all.
A good rule of thumb is if a horror movie's coming out in January,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be bad.
Good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
My number 3 is one that I was excited for until I realized how much of a story they tried to put in it,
Okay.
and that's the Impractical Jokers movie.
Oh, okay. I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but I'll let you go. Sorry.
I loved the show.
Yeah.
I thought the shoehorned in story was not great.
Right.
And I thought a lot of the actual like challenges they did
Yeah.
weren't big enough for a movie. Like,
Yeah, that
they
is
do
true.
stuff on the show that's crazier than what they were doing on
Yeah.
here.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it myself. I
Yeah.
not my top 10, obviously, but not my bottom. Yeah. My number 2, Capone.
Oh,
Oh boy, I had heard this movie was awful,
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched it anyway. And it has Tom Hardy as Al Capone, and it's not Capone when he was in the young days. It's Capone when he's like losing his mind at home, and he's like seeing his old gangster friends around. It was just so bad. It was awful. I hated everything. I don't think I liked anything about it. It was awful. Even the acting was just not good.
Yeah.
The makeup, they do side shots of Tom Hardy. You can see like the line.
oh yeah.
It's like, oh boy,
I remember seeing that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it looked so
it
bad.
was just not. And I love gangster movies, and this was just awful. So yeah, that's my number 2.
My number 2 is SpongeBob.
Oh,
I forget even what the
yeah,
title
I have
is.
no idea.
Like Is it a sponge out of water, or was that the
Could
last
be.
one? I don't know. But it was the 3D animated SpongeBob movie.
Yeah, that came out this, obviously this year.
Yeah.
You guys went to that in the drive-in, is that right?
Yeah, we went to see it at the drive-in.
Yeah.
My son loved it, so if you have kids, you're going to like it.
That's good.
But
Sponge on the Run.
Sponge on the Run,
There
that's
we
what
go.
it is. But I really hated it. Like, I was a kid that loved SpongeBob growing up.
Okay.
Like, even as a teenager, I thought
yeah.
it was hilarious. And this one just wasn't funny. Like, I don't know if I just got older and have a different sense of humor.
Could be.
I don't think I do, because
Yeah.
it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But this was terrible.
Ugh.
Your number one?
My least favorite movie. Now, I don't think you've seen this one yet, but I'll ask you now.
Okay.
Antebellum.
I haven't.
Okay.
I was excited for this one, too. And then I started hearing a lot of bad reviews.
I didn't know anything about it. It popped up on the thing. I watched it, and I was like, it has a decent story.
Yeah.
If I won't spoil it, but it's not good.
No.
It's very.
From the trailer, I gather, like, she's switching back and forth between, like, slavery times and current day. Is that what's going on?
Sort of.
Okay.
I could spoil it, but I won't.
Yeah.
It's and there are characters in there that have no purpose, like Precious. What the hell, Gabri, whatever the hell her name is, that woman who played Precious. It's useless. What are you doing? What are we doing here? It's they've written her in for it's garbage. The movie was awful. It had potential. They could have done things a little bit differently, and it could have worked. I think, but for the most part, I was just like, oh boy. I was literally walking around my theater room, just like pacing back and forth, like this. When is this going to end? It's awful. But I finished it, so yeah. And it's got the woman. If you guys watch the Oscars this year, when she did that opening song.
Oh yeah,
whatever the hell she put the mic in, she put the mic in Leo's face, and he had to do that do thing or whatever, and it was like Brad Pitt leaned forward and was laughing at him. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
but,
it was one of the most awkward moments.
Yes,
and it was an awkward Oscars.
Yeah, so it was. But yeah, anyway, that is my least favorite. So your number one?
My number one is Scoob.
Scoob. Oh, okay. Didn't watch it.
Yeah, I hated it. It was a Scooby-Doo movie where they're younger.
Okay.
I guess, starting out they're younger, and it shows like how they became friends and everything.
Okay.
But then it tries to... I don't even know. It's a mess.
This was one that I think you watched with your family?
Yeah.
Did the kids like it?
Kale did, yeah.
Okay.
They did like a Hanna-Barbera crossover with like a bunch of characters, but they were just kind of like jammed in there.
Okay.
Instead of like the Scooby-Doo, like, hey, we got to figure out who the monster is.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, there's aliens and stuff in this one. And
Okay.
It's just
a mess.
It was terrible.
Okay.
And they got rid of Matthew Lillard as the voice of Shaggy.
Okay.
So you lose points there too.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a cool year. It sucked in a lot of ways, but
yeah,
we completely reformatted our podcast into a horror podcast. Yeah. It's been a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. So now it's 2021. You're all listening. And, stage 2 of Jumanji. Let the Hunger Games commence.
Exactly.
Whatever comes our way. We will try and bring you more episodes. Just to let everyone know, if you're listening to this, all our episodes are going to be on YouTube as well. So if you got YouTube Music and you want to listen to us there, go ahead and subscribe.
Yeah.
And that'll do it. Coulson, like I said already, Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you.
See you next year.
Yes.
Bye. That concludes our show. Hope you had fun. And if you want to subscribe, we're available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, though, please be sure to leave that coveted 5-star review. If you want even more Coulson and Brad, you can check out our Facebook page by searching Watchers Podcast. Follow us on Letterboxd at Campbell Brad and Noslock88. That's close and backwards, 88. And on Twitter at WatcherPod and on Instagram at Watchers_podcast. Bye.